Mijaelle and this is Heartbeats. Today we are talking to Lynne Ward, who had an awesome career in the West End, doing theatre and singing and even TV. So I hope you guys enjoy and get a lot from this interview because she's a wonderful lady. What is the best decision you ever made with your career and your life?
Yeah, the best decision at the time was to perform and not to do teaching, which my parents were so keen that I did the teaching qualification. I think life-wise, I should have maybe have done the teaching because after all these years, I could have been teaching, and I could have still been doing it, but my head was too set on being on stage.
Performing, yeah. Well, I'm glad you chose performing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And I think it's never held me back as a personality. I tend to be a bit zany at times. I think the theatre does that to you, and I tend to be quite colourful. I think it's made me appreciate life and not be one of these dead-end, sit and do nothing kind of people.
Yeah,
and stage careers don't really flow because you're always looking from one to another. And I didn't have an agent, but we had the stage newspaper. So when you were coming to the end of a season, you saw what was coming up, and you either went to the audition or phoned, and quite often they knew you already. Or as in the case of, I was in the one pantomime when Black and White Minstrel show happened to come along, they talent spotted you on stage, so they invited me for an audition, of which I got the job. And once with the Minstrels, I travelled with them. I was first in the West End show with them.
Oh wow!
Which was like 2,000 audience twice a night. And then after the summer season, you travel through the winter season with them. So you go to Portsmouth and Plymouth. So you're pretty well employed all the time.
Yeah.
And it was at that time that I met my future husband.
Oh,
yes. Not in the show, but he was involved with somebody in a show. Yeah.
And then magic happened.
Well, she dumped him and I got lucky.
Oh, so sweet, man.
I mean, after 2 shows a night, we were just flaked. We used to, in the West End, we used to go out to clubs after the show and crawl home at 4 or 5 in the morning and sleep all day. But I think the team spirit kept us really well grounded because some of us lived together. If we went out with the boys, they were mostly gay, and we got home in one piece.
Yeah.
I think it was the family feeling that kept you grounded, yeah. And there were 1 or 2 married people in it as well, and yeah, I think we were all a sensible lot. I don't know how it is today. Maybe it's a bit more crazy today.
Yeah. No, that's pretty nice. And you didn't mind being away from your family? That didn't bother you?
No, I left home at 17.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was okay for you.
Yeah.
And how did you overcome your nerves when you were starting out? I mean, now I know you said that you were very confident you can get onto stage, but how long did it take you to get there?
Probably a couple of shows. And you realise once you're doing it, and in fact you realise you can't see the audience anyway, so
yeah.
So it's just like another rehearsal.
Yeah, just look at the lights.
Yeah. But I think the nervousness always would come when you were doing a solo thing. And the worry, are you doing it correctly? And now, my attitude now when I go out is, I'm going out to do it for you, and I'm going to do it the way it comes out.
Yeah.
I think it's just a different mind process, that's all.
You're not so worried about what people think of you. Yeah.
And that comes with age.
Yes. Yeah, no, it really does, because you don't feel so insecure anymore. Yeah. That's really a gift.
It is.
Yeah. Do you prefer TV or stage, and what is the difference?
Oh, stage, definitely. Definitely stage. The whole atmosphere, the live
feedback,
the live orchestra, definitely stage, without a doubt.
And could you tell us about your career on TV?
I didn't sing on TV. Oh, only once. While I was at the Royal College of Music, there were the Granada studios in the same town. So I always take a chance to send my photographs in, and they started calling me in for extra work. And it ended that every Thursday afternoon and every Friday each week I had to shuffle all my lectures because I did Coronation Street, which is still on TV in England. Yeah. I did that every week for 2 years.
Wow.
As extra work, and then in the holidays I worked for Midlands TV and did another famous one called Crown Court and Crossroads, and I got regular work. I sort of survived on TV work.
Yeah.
And the only singing I did was there was a Miss Nugent who married a Mr. Papadopoulos and I sang in the church at the wedding.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yes. But I rarely got to say lines. I said 3 lines, which was I'll have one, at £15 a word in 1970.
That's a lot.
In 1970.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was worth it.
Yeah. And I still got a cheque for 15 pence for royalties.
Oh, wow.
They sent the programme to New Zealand.
Oh, really? Oh, well, it's very kind of them to
Yes.
give everybody their piece.
Yeah, well, I mounted the cheque.
Yeah.
Yeah. We in England you have British Actors Equity, and you join as a provisional. You have to do 6 weeks as a provisional worker, and then after 6 weeks you get your permanent status. And the whole point is that if you're not serious, you're not going to work through those 6 weeks. It's actually very difficult to get that first 6 weeks work. But once you've got your status, you're pretty well protected when you go to work in other countries. And in fact, that was part of the reason that I didn't work here. I arrived in the middle of apartheid.
Oh, wow.
I arrived in 1975, January 75.
Wow.
And I wasn't allowed to work here. And it hadn't actually worried me because I thought I was going to be here for 2 years. And in fact I'm here for 41 years now.
Wow.
But we were not allowed to work here. Yeah.
Jeepers, that must have been tough. Wow.